Hey, Easy Agent Pros, welcome to 2016. One of the first YouTube videos we're putting out there for the new year. Hope your 2015 was what you wanted. If it wasn't, one of the easiest ways I know of to make your next year better, or even your next quarter, next month better, is through reading. I know I personally read like 4 or 5 books over Christmas, Thanksgiving, that time period right there, just to try to get the juices going and find new stuff. So we're going to go step by step through those books today. I'll recommend a few that you might find interesting. The first one, a lot of you probably read, if you haven't, The Ultimate Sales Machine. Great book. It's kind of older now. I think it was published in the 90s or 80s. Yeah, it was published. But the thing that you need to remember is that times keep changing and there are always new ideas coming out when it comes to sales and marketing. They're two facets that always keep developing and moving forward. And so there's a new book out that's actually called The Sales Acceleration Formula. That I highly recommend. It's by the people at HubSpot. It's a really quick read. You can buy it on Amazon and get through it probably within 3-4 days. But it highlights some things that I think real estate agents really need to dive deep on. So it's the sales acceleration, and basically what it talks about is how to find salespeople to work with you, how to grow your team, and how to do it in a quantitative manner, how to manage people better, and then how to manage your sales process better. And it actually walks you through a really nice way of doing that. So kind of like the Ultimate Sales Machine, which broke down, what you have to do to structure your team. This does it in a more quantitative format, right? So he actually breaks down spreadsheets with personality traits and uses interviews to grade people on those personality traits, and then uses more quantitative approach to that hiring process, and then takes that over to the actual sales side of things too, where you're looking at your sales process as a more quantitative thing, where if we get 200 leads this month, 600 leads this month, 700 leads this month off of our website. If we call them this many times and text them this many times, we're going to convert 5 to 10% of that into people who actually do business with us. And that's a really key thing to get your mind around, is that if you're able to break that down into percentages, which this book shows you how to do, you're really able to create a stable business and then project out what your yearly, what your 5-year income will be. And that's a really powerful place to be in. So I highly recommend it. It's the Sales Acceleration Formula. And really, really pretty good to get into there. The next book I recommend is more of one for your mind, one for your motivational spirit or whatever you want. It's called The Emperor's Handbook by Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was actually one of the lesser known but really high quality Roman emperors. He led they grew a lot, basically. So if you're looking to grow your business a lot, listen to what this guy says. He talks a lot about the opinions of others, about how to brush off what other people say about you. And when you're in sales, when you're in marketing, you get a lot of flack, negative feedback sometimes when you're calling people, when you're following up with leads. There can be dark moments, right? We've all had those. And this book really will help you get through it. There are lots of great quotes in here, things that will help push you through when things just aren't going right for you. One of my more famous ones comes from I think it is, let's see, book number 3 here. He basically says like stop abusing yourself, stop listening to the opinions of others. Those opinions will pass with time. They always have. Just go look, it gives you examples how if you look back a year, the opinions are remarkably different and no one remembers what those opinions that they felt so strongly about were back then. And he says you only get one life to respect, and that's your own. And if you don't, ignore the negative feedback, you're ruining your happiness and you're ruining the whole reason why you're in real estate, why you're doing what you're doing to begin with. So it's a really great read for those of you out there looking for something that's a bit not mentioned, right? I'm not mentioning, like Millionaire Real Estate Agent or, positive thinking, all those, Tony Robbins, all that stuff's been mentioned. This is books that you probably haven't heard of, haven't thought of. This is a great one to check out if you're looking for something in that department. For those of you growing teams, wanting to grow teams, maybe thinking of bringing someone on, highly recommend this book. It's called The Education of a Coach. I'm sort of a football fan. But even those of you who aren't here, this covers the coaching styles of Bill Belichick, who has won a lot of Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. And the book itself covers the systems he uses to implement consistency and success in an otherwise really tumultuous up and down NFL scene. So do think what you want about the NFL or sports teams. He's been successful, and he's been very successful in a place where it's very competitive, even more competitive than real estate. So there are a lot of great things that I took away from managing teams from this book. For example, he talks about how he has the same set of rules for every player. He used to, let the special players have special rules, but then that creates a dynamic that isn't sustainable and going on. He also talks about how he wasn't a coach or a player himself. So in order to get the respect of all these really high macho athletes, because the NFL is full of machoism and steroids, that he has to be more intelligent and more informed, and the granular details that he as a head coach goes into are ridiculously fine, and that's something that I think we all can learn from. Sometimes we're all like, oh yeah, we're the experts in this area, oh yeah, of course I know everything about the real estate area, but do you really? Like, do you really know every single neighborhood, every single house, the percentages, of the housing markets? Do you really know every granular detail, like etched in your memory? Like, are you the best person for real estate investors to work with? Are you the best person for new home buyers to work with? Do you know absolutely everything, every detail? Because he does, and that's why he's been successful. So it's a great book for those of you looking to grow your team and looking to challenge yourself to achieve more this year. Once again, not a standard real estate book that everyone tells you about, trying to hit you with some new ones. And then finally, a book that I think just everyone has to read at least once, maybe once a year, E-Myth. It just highlights why so many real estate agents fail. And small businesses fail because they focus on the wrong things. They focus on their email. They focus on social media. I could open up my email right now and I probably have 20 more emails since I started recording this video. But it's what you focus on and how you build the machine that builds the machine in your business that allows you to be successful in a year, 5 years down the line with growing your business, right? It's not about growing your team. It's not about putting out the fires today. It's about building something that builds it, right? It's building the machine that then builds the machine that makes the real estate transactions happen. That's what you're charged with, and that's what E-Myth teaches you to do. So those are 4 books that I highly recommend this year. I hope this video is helpful. Subscribe on YouTube. Go check out the list. I'll link it up. We have it posted on Easy Agent Pro. Hope you have an awesome 2016. Enjoy these books and enjoy the articles we're putting out. We got some great stuff planned for you this year. So I'm Tyler with Easy Agent Pro. I'll talk with you next time.